All right, let's just jump right in. We're about to explore a concept that you probably think you know, but I'm telling you, the ancient Hebrew take on wisdom, it's going to blow your mind. This is a journey that starts in the cosmos and ends up right in a craftsman's workshop.
So, when I say the word wisdom, what's the first image that pops into your head? Probably some philosopher with a long beard, right? Or maybe a king, like Solomon, making these big, profound judgments. It always feels like something that's, I don't know, kind of out of reach, reserved for the geniuses and the super powerful. But what if that whole picture is just wrong? Or at least incomplete? What if wisdom isn't about sitting on a throne thinking big thoughts, but something way more practical, way more accessible to, well, all of us? Well, there's this one ancient Hebrew word that totally flips the script on this whole idea, and that word is hokmah. You're going to want to remember that one because it's the key that unlocks everything we're talking about today. So let's get into it. First up, we're going to have to break down what we think wisdom is, because I promise you, that definition is about to get a whole lot bigger.
Okay, so what in the world is chokmah? Think of it as this big, beautiful, all-encompassing idea. It's not just about being smart or having a high IQ. It's about having the skill to navigate the messiness of life. And it covers the whole spectrum, from the technical skill of a woodworker all the way to the deepest divine insight.
And this right here is what's so wild about chokmah. It applies to the philosopher king, the person who's deep in abstract thought, ruling an entire empire. But it also describes the master artisan, the person whose skill is in their hands, working with gold and silver and copper to build something sacred. It's the same exact word for both. How cool is that? This really gets us to the two sides of the chokmah coin. So in this next part, let's explore how it can be this huge cosmic force and, at the same time, an incredibly down-to-earth practical skill. In the book of Proverbs, wisdom is actually personified as a person, often called Lady Wisdom. And get this, she says she was there with God before creation even began. So you have wisdom as this primordial, divine power that helped shape the universe itself. That's some pretty epic stuff. But here's the twist, that's only half the story. Chokmah doesn't just hang out up in the heavens. Nope, it comes right down to earth in the most real, tangible ways you can imagine. Just look at this. The Bible says this artisan, Bezalel, was filled with God's Spirit and with chokmah. And what did this divine wisdom give him the ability to do? To work with metal, to cut stones, to carve wood. His technical skill, his actual craftsmanship, was seen as a direct gift of divine wisdom. So you see what's happening? Chokmah is the bridge between the heavens and your garage. It's the divine blueprint for the universe, for sure, but it's also the skill of a great carpenter, a talented barista, or a compassionate leader. It's the art of living skillfully right where you are. Okay, so we know what chokmah is, but how do we actually get it? Well, ancient Hebrew thought is so cool, it actually breaks down the mental process into 3 clear steps. And here they are, chokmah, bina, and dot. And yeah, you're seeing that right. Chokmah is the name for the whole concept, but it's also the name for the very first step in getting it. Think of it as the initial spark of an idea. This chart breaks it down perfectly. Chokmah is that aha, or eureka moment. It's the raw flash of insight, the seed, or as some sages called it, the father. Then comes bina, which is understanding. That's where you analyze the idea, build it out, give it structure, like building a palace for that seed to grow in. It's the mother. And finally, you get dot, which is integration. That's when the idea becomes a part of you, when it connects to your actions. It's the child born from the first two. You know that feeling when you look at a painting and you're just blown away? You just know it's brilliant. That's chokmah. But if someone asks you, so what makes it so great? And you just shrug and say, I don't know, it just is. Well, you're missing bina. You're missing the understanding to break it down. True wisdom needs both that initial spark and the structure to back it up. So we've got the what, we've got the how, but what's the actual starting line? What's the one thing that according to Hebrew wisdom, you absolutely have to have before any of this can even begin? You've probably heard this verse before. It's one of the most famous lines in Proverbs. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. But I gotta be honest, that word fear throws a lot of us off. It sounds scary. But the Hebrew word here is yira, and it doesn't mean being terrified like you're watching a horror movie. A much, much better way to think about it is a deep sense of awe and reverence. It's that feeling you get looking up at a starry night or at the Grand Canyon. That sense of, wow, I am small and this is huge. It's humility, not horror.
And that one little shift in meaning changes everything. It tells us that at its absolute core, Hebrew wisdom isn't just a mental exercise. It's fundamentally relational. It all starts with having the right posture, a posture of humility and trust before the one who created everything.
So let's pull all these pieces together. What does this ancient idea mean for us, right here, right now? Well, it means we need to start seeing wisdom as what it truly is, the ancient art of living well.
So at the end of the day, here's our best definition. Chokmah is a moral skill. It's having the ability to navigate life successfully by applying God's good order to your everyday conduct. It's about taking the stuff of your life and crafting it into something beautiful and meaningful.
And what's the goal of all this skillful living? Where is this path of Chokmah supposed to take us? It's not about getting rich or famous. The path of wisdom is designed to lead to one single destination: shalom.
And just like Yira, the word shalom is so much bigger than the English word peace. It's not just about stopping a war. Shalom means universal flourishing. It's wholeness. It's a state where everyone's needs are met and everyone's gifts are being used to make the world better. That's the world wisdom is trying to build.
Which really leaves us with one last big question for ourselves. We live in a world that is just drowning in information. We have all the facts and data in the universe right in our pockets. But in our quest for more information, are we accidentally forgetting the ancient art of Chokmah, the actual skill of living wisely with awe for the flourishing of everyone? Something to think about.